Hi, your homie here. Today, I'm going to explain an action drama comedy film called Big Brother. Henry has returned to Hong Kong after serving in the US military for years. Looking to start a career as a teacher, he goes to his former school, Tak Chi Secondary. The principal notes he doesn't have teaching experience, but after being shown a recommendation letter from a higher official, he is hired. Before Henry leaves, the principal informs him that the class he is assigned to teach is one of the worst in the school. On the morning of his first day, Henry walks into absolute chaos. Some students are sleeping, others are singing, some are playing video games, a few are even cooking ramen on a portable stove. They completely ignore him. Henry tries to get their attention, but they pretend not to hear him. Giving up on diversion, he walks around the classroom, commenting on what they are doing. He tells the ramen cooks to eat less because it contains too much sodium, helps Zuva with his ukulele, and warns a gamer kid about radiation from staring at screens all day. If that's real, it's probably too late for all of us. Finally, the students begin listening. Henry introduces himself and writes his name and phone number on the board. The students laugh at his ugly handwriting. Someone tells him to leave, but Henry laughs it off. When they continue ignoring him, he uses a rubber band and piece of chalk to trigger the fire sprinkler. Students scramble to avoid getting wet. Finally, he has their full attention and officially welcomes them to his class. After class 5, of the lowest-ranking students gather in the sports supply room to smoke. The leader, Jack, has a crush on an A-grade student from another class. His friends teased him mercilessly. The group has a rivalry with the rich, spoiled basketball team. When the team enters the supply room and mocks Jack, the group laughs it off. Later, while watching basketball practice, Jack drops a bottle on the court, causing the team leader to fall. The group laughs, but ends up in detention with Miss Liang. They prank her and escape while she is cleaning her desk. Meanwhile, the school principal is distressed. The education board plans to deduct 20% of the annual funding. Inspectors arrive to tour the school. At the same time, Henry enters a classroom where students have set up a bucket of water to prank him. His reflexes save him from getting wet. Leaving the pranksters shocked, Henry asks Jack for his cigarettes. Jack hands them over, curious. Henry quizzes Zufo on the 3 ingredients in a cigarette. When he answers correctly, he is allowed to skip class for the day. Other students bang on their desks, demanding the same. Henry hands out cigarettes to all and asks them to analyze it. He explains how tar forms in the lungs. For the first time, they pay attention and are genuinely interested in learning. After class, the students return the cigarettes reluctantly. That day in the cafeteria, a basketball captain trips Bruce, sparking a food fight. Students throw food and tables at each other, destroying the place. Henry finds Jack fighting in the hallway and stops him. Jack complains the school is unfair because rich kids get no punishment. Henry then goes through the files of all 5 students to learn more about them. Zufo, the son of a Pakistani immigrant, faces constant discrimination and dreams of becoming a musician. Danon has spent her life trying to gain her father's respect, who always wanted a son. She even cuts her hair and plays with cars to appear like a boy, but her father favors her younger brother. Bruce and Chris are brothers whose mother ran away, leaving their father an alcoholic. Bruce turns to video games to escape reality, while Chris works to support the family. Jack's family background is unknown. Jack works as a restaurant waiter. MMA gambler Jian Ying arrives with business partners. Jack steals a fancy lighter, but is caught. Jian Ying's men beat him up and check his ID, learning he's a student. Jian Ying gives him money and hires him as a delivery man. Elsewhere, Henry visits Zufo's home and finds him running from his father and associates after stealing a ticket. At first, Henry helps him, but later sides with the father. Later, Henry and Zufo hang out at a bridge. To motivate Zufo, Henry sings with a street band. Zufo joins in, performing publicly for the first time since being bullied at school. Meanwhile, Bruce and Chris's father comes home late and orders them to get him beer. They refuse, so he kicks them out. The next day, Henry meets their father and convinces him to go to rehab for his son's well-being. Meanwhile, Danon's father gives her a bag of makeup products, insisting she act more like a girl. Danon, furious at her father for making her feel inadequate, applies the makeup to her younger brother as a prank and sneaks out with the car. She's about to drive away in her father's car, but is stopped by Henry at the right moment. He explains that driving without a license is illegal and suggests an alternative. A go-kart racetrack. Henry takes Danon and her father to the track, arranging a race between them. Father and daughter show no mercy, competing fiercely. Eventually, they end up outside the track after a collision. Suddenly, Danon's go-kart is struck by a vehicle, but she dodges just in time. Her father, unaware she survived, cries, mourning her death. Danon realizes she does love her father and hugs him. Reconciling their relationship, the next day at school, Bruce and Chris, along with a group, are sent to a rehabilitation center to interview a recovering alcoholic. They are surprised to see the man is their own father. The students ask him how he started drinking. He explains that he loved his wife dearly, but she left him at his lowest point, leading him to drink and forget about his children. He does not reveal he is their father, but apologizes. The brothers are left crying, reflecting on their past. Elsewhere, Jack has started working for MMA gambler Jian Ying. Jian Ying pressures Jack to drug a fighter's drink in an upcoming match. Jack hesitates but is forced to agree. On fight day, Jian Ying sponsors the fighter but bets on his loss. Jack attempts to drug the drink but is caught. Before he can blame Jian Ying, he is beaten and locked in a locker. Henry arrives, asking the fighters if they have seen his student. The men tell him to go home, but Jack yells for help from inside the locker. Realizing Jack is trapped, Henry attacks them, overpowering the fighters easily. The fight intensifies, with Henry dodging and countering every move. By the end, he knocks out the best fighter, who was supposed to compete in minutes. They rush to a hospital, where Henry is treated for his wounds. Jack tries to expose Jian Ying but is silenced. News spreads, and Henry becomes famous as the man who beat a professional fighter to save his student. His popularity at school rises, and students now respect him. They even stand to welcome him to class. A stark contrast to their earlier disregard, a flashback reveals Henry's past as a school prankster. He once threw water balloons at a student, performing piano for parents, then fought him, breaking his hand. He was suspended and sent to the US that day, changed his life, and made students take him seriously. Now, with his guidance, students study hard for college entrance exams. Everything goes well, except Bruce, who develops a pill addiction. While Charlie escapes reality through video games, Bruce turns to drugs. His focus suffers, and he performs poorly in mock exams. Henry promises to help him, but Bruce sinks deeper into depression. Eventually, Bruce jumps off his balcony, ending up in a coma. The media misrepresents the incident, blaming the school and Henry. The education board interviews Henry and decides to revoke his teaching license. As Henry packs to leave, the students chase him, pleading for him to stay. Their goal is to ace the upcoming test to make him proud. They commit to studying twice as hard to prove to the board that Henry is a good teacher. On the day of the test, Jack and his classmates receive a text from Henry to meet at school. An hour early, the students realize it's a trap by Jian Ying, designed to keep them from reaching the examination hall on time and to teach Henry a lesson. Henry discovers Jian Ying's plan. He frees the students and fights Jian Ying's henchmen to protect them. They escape and head to the examination hall while Henry battles Jian Ying. During their one-on-one fight, Jian Ying reveals he is the boy Henry once pranked with water balloons. Ever since Henry broke his arm, Jian Ying's music career suffered. He blames Henry for ruining his dreams. Henry tries to reason with him, but the fight continues. They struggle over a knife, and Henry chases him to prevent harm, ultimately forgiving him and walking away. The students reach the examination hall on time and complete the test. Weeks later, they all pass with flying colors. Jian Ying returns to piano, needing practice to regain his skill. Bruce recovers and promises to take the next year's entrance exam. The principal is delighted as the education board grants a 20% bonus fund for the students' outstanding results. Henry returns to teaching, once again using the fire sprinkler trick on a new batch of students, bringing humor and engagement back to the classroom. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thanks for watching.